Today, I'm talking to Winona Fighter, and I first got to see these guys 2024 at Louder Than Life, which you guys rocked it, especially like that weather, the mud all over the place.
Oh, yeah. And it smelled.
Oh, yeah, I bet, because there's a lot going on. So what's the feeling of a big festival like that for you guys up there?
It's always so exciting, and like, no matter how many we do and no matter the size, like, we always gaslight ourselves. Like, we'll always sound check and we'll be like, well, maybe at least 10 people will show up. And then, like, we'll get out there and it's just, like, slammed. And it's always, I think it's always, like, just such a shocking and satisfying moment.
To get out, and then it's not 10 people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's cool. Well, you guys carry the energy, like, you're in it to be in this. And I love your saying, and we're probably going to steal this with SWOMP. Take the stairs. Love that. The longevity of it, and, you know, not the elevator. Not that there's nothing wrong with the elevator, but you're not going to build the muscle and the stamina that you will taking the stairs. So I love that you guys say that. So you've got some festivals and some shows coming up. February, you're going to be in Tempe, Arizona, and you're playing with Incubus. And you've played with them before, though, right?
Yeah.
3 times now, I think. Yeah.
Okay, so what's the feeling of you know, sharing a stage with bands that have been around so long and have been so good and are still so good?
It's a little intimidating at first. I think Incubus was the first one that we open for where it was like, oh my God, I listened to these people when I was growing up. So it was a little intimidating. And then, like, most of the bands, like, you get to know them and they're just like, hey man, so great to have you here. And then, like, how'd you do on Wordle today? And it's like, oh, these are regular people. They kind of like cut the ice really well. And then you just have to remind yourself, like, I know what I'm doing here. I got to get in the zone and just kind of deliver. So I think we're usually pretty good at that part. So it's just getting over the starstruck aspect of it for me that sometimes takes a second.
That was Dan speaking. And Dan, your lead guitar, Austin, your bass, and you also produce, right?
Yes.
And then Coco, lead singer, and drums. I didn't see you on drums at Louder Than Life, so I was surprised to see that you did that for the album, though, right?
Yeah, I record all our drums, and then we had the lovely Steve coming out and playing drums for our live shows.
Is Steve the one that's in your music videos, too?
No, we have a couple different drummers in our music videos. So the most recent music video...
Are you famous? Can we be friends?
Yes. Are you famous? We had this stellar drummer, Chris Geller, come play drums for that. And then in our earlier music videos, we had this great drummer in Nashville, Griffin Krenz, playing drums in them. So that's kind of like the beauty of myself recording all the drums, is we get to, like, work pretty much with, like, any drummer that we want to, and get to have this, like, great revolving door of musicians coming through and helping us with different aspects of the project.
And I want to congratulate you, because this is release day for that song. Like, I just watched that music video. Really cool that you can do that with any drummer you want, and you can switch it up. So if they're, like, playing with another band or get another gig, then you got some backups, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Coco, once I heard that you played drums on the album, those drums are crazy good. When you're recording that, because I know you guys do, like, DIY type recording, even though you're signed, still doing it. Do you ever sing and play drums at the same time?
My very first punk band I was in, I was doing vocals and drumming. It was a 3-piece and we were, like, kids. So I have, but I think, like, you know, just with how, like, energetic Winona Fighter is and how physically demanding I think our live show is, it wouldn't work. However, we do, like, try to, like, when we have a longer set, we do try to work in a little bit where I'll, like, get behind the drums for a solo or something.
You were talking about earlier punk bands you were in. Like, how young were you doing this?
I was in my very first punk band when I was in, I think, 6th grade. We were kids, like, I mean, sneaking into punk clubs, playing with grown-ass adults, playing in bars. Yeah, so I my, like, whole life, you know. Like, it was being an adult playing music. It took me a while to realize people turn 18 or 21 and then they decide to be a musician. You know, I guess it's like pretty not as common as you'd think for people to be a musician their like entire lives.
So grade 6 kids, were you playing any covers that we could relate to?
Our big cover was Territorial Pissings by Nirvana.
Oh, fun. For the kids.
For the kids.
This one's for the kids.
So, like, yeah.
The kids like piss?
It was like, I'm not talking like pop punk. I'm talking, we were in the nitty gritty disgustingness of it all. And it was, you know, and that's really what charged starting this band. It's because it's like just a part of me. And, you know, I think everyone should get to experience how great punk music is in the community and the rawness and I don't know, realness of it all.
And so now you have your album that some of these songs that we're talking about is coming out February 14th, Valentine's Day. Is that significant, or did you just kind of pick it?
I think it was like thrown out there.
I would say we love.
I love that saying.
Love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's called My Apologies to the Chef. What's the story behind that one?
That was kind of an inside joke, right?
Yeah, it was, we would be in the studio and I would say like be recording drums and I would like mess up and sometimes I'd mess up and I'd be like, are you effing kidding me? Like, what? I'm the worst drummer ever. And sometimes I would like just be like, my apologies to the chef, that one. And then it just kind of like stuck. And then in everyday life, we were like saying it, and on the road we were saying it, and it just, we're like, well, that has to be an album
title name.
We did like a kind of a spin where it's like, you know, maybe in Chloe's situation, growing up as a 6th grader playing, you know, Nirvana covers or whatever, and her parents are like, you know, business people. They're like, okay, my daughter is a punk musician, and so Chloe's like, yeah, my apologies to the chef. Like, you guys made me, but yeah, I'm gonna do whatever I want to, basically.
You do a bit more because you have your real estate license, don't you?
Yes, I do. Yep, I'll like sell a couple houses a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Buckets.
It's you know, it's nice like having that large chunk of money come in to help be able to do music. And I mean, otherwise I walk dogs and I watch dogs, and it's great.
And you guys?
I'm full-time. I write and produce and record and mix and do all that stuff with other artists and bands as well. And so it's a grind. You got to wear a lot of different hats. I also last year started a label with a couple buddies of mine, so I'm just out here grinding.
That's awesome. And Dan?
I do like independent contract work marketing wise for some people like graphic design and social medias and stuff, and then also teach lessons. So I teach guitar and voice lessons at a school of rock.
Oh, cool. So when you guys are touring around and doing music, how are you getting around, and how does that work for you?
We're in a nice Ford Transit passenger van with a beautiful trailer.
An absolute beaut.
Does she have a name?
No, we rent it. We rent one. Yeah, it's definitely a grind. And, you know, back to taking the stairs, I've known bands who have gone right to the bandwagon or the bus. But until you're like thrown in a van for a month straight,
you're not truly close until that happens. So you guys have to be super close now. How do you know each other?
It's through a Craigslist ad back in 2016?
16 probably. Yeah. We answered an ad for somebody's band that I think was probably like a pop punk band or something. Like Chloe answered as a drummer and myself as a guitarist. And I think within the first 20 minutes of the first rehearsal, we kind of looked at each other like, let's get out of here. You and I are connected. Let's do something else. So I feel like it's been her and I, since, for a couple of years, did like some acoustic stuff together and did some DIY tours and stuff throughout the country, which was like super grindy, and, did the whole thing where 2 people showed up. What a win, So it was a lot of that for a lot of years.
Austin, how'd you become a member of the family?
Chloe and I met in LA in 2017, maybe 28. Yeah.
2017.
And yeah, I was introduced. I actually met Chloe's sister because I was playing bass for an artist, and Chloe's sister was this artist's personal assistant, and she was just telling me that she had this sister that was a great songwriter, and I was like, I would love to meet up with her at some point and try to write something. And so, yeah, we met up and became like really close writing partners and started writing like every week pretty much, even though you lived in Venice and I lived in Highland Park. So we were like on opposite sides of LA. So it's
for people who don't know how LA works, that is like going from one side of the country to the other, basically.
So it'd be like a minimum 1 hour in the car just to get over to my place. But we would meet up and we would write. And then I got an opportunity in Nashville. And so I decided to move from LA to Nashville. And Chloe, I had no idea. She was like, actually, I'm kind of in between LA and Nashville. And so I think I'm going to move back to Nashville. And I was like, okay, yeah, well, like hit me up if you do. And then she did some trips and we met up and stuff. Yeah. Then I was like, hey, you got a band? I'll play bass for you.
He just showed up.
So your new album, My Apologies to the Chef, it drops February 14th. I think we've got 4 songs left to release on that.
Yes.
Everybody's got to check out there's 14 on it, right?
Yeah.
So 10 songs out that we can enjoy now, and definitely entertaining. I was listening to what's there at the gym yesterday, and my heart rate has never been at 187 on the treadmill, so thank you for that.
Oh,
wow. Yeah, it's good. It's good gym music for sure.
It's the best for gym music. Yeah. Like I said, I've been working out a long time, but never had my heart rate up that much. When I got up, I was like, oh my God.
Put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah,
my heart rate was 187 listening to this album.
A lot of people have made comments about how a lot of the album is out already, but honestly, those last 4 songs, it's like they're some of my favorites.
Really?
Yeah, I think my favorite might be still to come.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which one?
Okay, I think Talk is probably my favorite. That one I love. Talk, super fun. I'm proud of that one.
The video for that one's going to be nuts too.
So nuts.
Yeah.
And you do all the videos yourself too?
No, we worked with this amazing team in LA called We're All Gonna Die. And it's just a very small production team. Jake Johnson and Dan Masso, and they are they have a very kind of DIY thing about them too. Like they just kind of make it work. And they're amazing.
Well, that's why I thought, because I was watching the Are You Famous video today when it came out, and I'm like, I wonder if they did this too. But there's just something about when you're doing so much audio all the time, like you can't be that good at video too. You can, but you would have no life.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm like, I gotta ask them. So you are signed with Rise Records, but you're still DIYing it, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They are like super supportive and amazingly helpful, and really, I think, have leveled us up in such a huge way. But they're also, as much as they are supportive, they're also like, hey, when you guys are done with the record, just let us know. We love to hear it when it's done. But they're not like, micromanaging or anything. They're the best. We love them.
Well,
They're like, you want to do your debut record with us? And originally it was a guest bedroom in our house, and now it's the garage. But they're like, you want to do your debut record with us in your garage and self-produce it all, and it just be the 3 of you guys who touch it and no one else looks at it until it's done? Okay.
They signed you hearing what you made. So they wanted that, right? So awesome that they just said, keep going. That's what we want.
They've been like such huge champions for us. I mean, our while we're at it, I'll give a shout out to the whole team. Sean and Andy over at Rise, Justin Edwards and Ron Opaleski over at WME, and Michael, Bill, and Allison over at Indigoot Entertainment. Like, I think I'll start crying. We spent so long, like, grinding and, like, no one, like, even batting an eye. And so many times where, like, maybe, 5 people would come to a show, and we're just like, we just need, like, one person to believe in us. and we will work harder, then we will make someone so much fucking money one day if they just believe in us, you know? And I think we got super fortunate with the team that we have, and we've never been believed in so much before. So it's really cool.
That is really cool. And I can't wait to see you guys again in a totally different setting, hopefully Tempe, Arizona. So best of luck with all your shows coming up and this new album so far. The first 10 that I've heard, they rock. I'll be best of luck with the February 14th when it's fully out.
Hell yeah.
Perfect.
Thank you so much for your time today.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Enjoyed it.